my name is Taylor Smith, aka The Career Coach, and today I'm talking about different career paths for engineers. So maybe you are an engineering major, or maybe you're interested in engineering. However, you don't want to go the traditional engineering path. You want to see what other opportunities there are for engineers to do after you graduate from school. Then this video is 100% dedicated to you because I'm going to talk about some of the most common engineering career paths as well as a few others. So the first career path we're going to discuss is related to design and coding. So if these two things are really interesting to you, then you may want to stay within the traditional engineering realm. And basically what you'll do as a traditional engineer, you will design and revise products or processes for specific customers. You will also complete simulations or run tests to just make sure that your designs actually are effective and they work in real world scenarios. You will also disposition failures or non-conformances. So if there's any problems in the manufacturing process, then you will actually determine if the criteria is acceptable or not in order to still meet the customer's needs and requirements. You, specifically as a computer science engineer, you will do more code design, maintenance, etc. You may not do as much as the stuff listed before, but that's what you will focus on. So even if you decide that this traditional engineering path is not something that you want to do for the long term, I do suggest that you might get some kind of experience, whether during an internship or early on in your career, so that you can get your feet wet and you can have this good foundational knowledge about what engineers do as a basis, right? So no matter what you do in the future, whether it's slightly related to engineering and you're using the technical background to your advantage, or it's something completely different, you really have a good core concept and understanding on problem solving, because essentially that's what engineers do, and that's a transferable skill in no matter what field you decide to go in. If you are really interested in the traditional engineering path, or you just generally want to know more about what they do on a more detailed scale, then you guys are in luck. Next week I'm posting a video where I'm talking more about what engineers do. So if you want to really understand and know more about what a non-conformance is, what a disposition is, what kind of design work engineers do, etc., then you want to make sure that you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when that video comes out and you don't miss it. Alrighty, the number 2 career path we're going to talk about is research and development. So this is actually pretty similar to the first one, which is design and coding, but this is less behind a computer screen doing design work. This is more so being hands-on and working in a lab. So this is going to be R&D. This is the nickname for research and development, but this is a lot of test and trial. This is working in a lab. This is generally working on the next big and new thing that's actually not going to be released until maybe 5 to 10 years from now. So this is what research and development is all about. This is completing extensive research, so reading literature. This is also testing samples, creating prototypes, etc. Number 3 is operations and supply chain. So this is my personal favorite because this is the career path I decided to take. So if you want to use your technical expertise to your advantage and not get into the weeds of it and use it on a day-to-day basis, then operations might be it for you. And basically here there are multiple functions within the supply chain for you to learn about and explore. So this goes from acquiring material to manufacturing processes, doing continuous improvement, and also the distribution and logistics of products to the final end customer. So within supply chain and operations, you typically want to have a good understanding of engineering principles, because you want to be able to understand the product that the engineer made. You want to be able to understand some of the technical aspects, so being able to read a drawing, being able to understand what material goes into creating these products, etc. Because if you are working with suppliers, they're doing their manufacturing processes, and you want to make sure that you know who has the capabilities to do what in order to meet the engineering specifications. Also, if you're doing any kind of continuous improvement to the manufacturing processes, which is basically building the actual product that the engineer designed, then you kind of have to understand what the engineering specifications are, what are the different requirements, the tolerances, etc. So being able to have that understanding in order to see how can you make this improvement in order to make things faster, more efficient, and also cost effective is going to be very helpful when you are in supply chain and operations. Obviously, you don't have to have an engineering degree in order to do this. However, it's very helpful if you do, and a lot of people really love engineers who get involved in supply chain and operations. Number 4 is project management. So again, this is using your technical background to your advantage. So as a project manager, you're usually an influential leader of some sort. So basically you are leading a team of different engineers, of different people possibly in supply chain, all people that wear different hats, work in different functions, etc. And they're all working together on one common project, one common goal that needs to be completed. So what you're doing, you are basically in charge of all these different departments and all these different tasks that need to be completed for a specific project. So what you're going to do is you're going to be the master of timelines. So if you take a project management class, you'll probably know that you have to do a lot of Gantt charts, a lot of organization tools, and keeping track of a specific calendar and working backwards. So you're basically seeing the completion of tasks by every single division or department that's working with you and making sure that you're supporting them as needed. So that's why the technical background is going to be helpful for you, because in case they have questions, in case they need assistance, you're able to provide that because you know a little bit about what they're doing, and you can provide that additional assistance in order to get the task completed or in order to support them in various different tasks, problems, etc. Number 5 is other. So you are not limited to 1 through 4 that I just explained as far as potential career paths as an engineering major. I'm also going to list these other ones that are pretty common and how engineering actually relates to these and why it may make you a better candidate. So first and foremost, I have the medical field. So if you decide to go into electrical engineering, you learn about electricity. Well, there's different components in our body that actually relate to electricity, right? Our brain, our neurons, etc. So this is a connection that you have there. Also, there's a lot of chemicals and biology that go on within your body that's related to the medical field. So if you do like chemical engineering, biomedical engineering, these also relate. So this could also help you when you get into the medical field, but also being an engineering major, you learn a lot about discipline and how to study and good habits there. So this will also translate well into medical school when you have to study a lot of long hours. You have to really stay disciplined during your residency as well. And so that's why an engineering background may be helpful. Next, I have law. So whether you want to become a lawyer or a judge, depending on the field that you go in, if you want to go into patent law, that's technically about inventions, engineering, etc. So making sure that you have protections in place as a person that is an inventor, some kind of creator, etc. So having that technical background as an engineer can definitely help you within this field. But if you want to do other things within law, again, having the engineering discipline and study habits is also going to be a great benefit to you. If you want to go into education, so engineering is very math and science heavy. If you want to go and become some kind of math teacher, science teacher, this is going to be a really good background for you because you know the applications of how a lot of this stuff can be used. And so that you can share that and express that to your students if you'd really like to in order to get that message across. But of course, you can teach any kind of educational level that you want. You don't have to stay limited to just higher level math and science. Architecture. So I think architecture and engineering is pretty similar, right? You do a lot of design. You know, you do designing components on the computer, while architecture major is designing designing drawings for buildings, etc. So these are pretty similar fields that you can get in as well. Music and arts. There's so many people that are engineers that actually go into the entertainment or the music industry. So this could help you when you are composing beats. I don't really know the direct connection between that, but I know that there are some principles there that can help you. But again, also just having that hard work and that discipline, but also etc. Right? If you want to become a business owner, having a lot of engineering background is going to help you when starting up a business because you know a lot of the technical aspects. If you want to become some kind of CEO, if you want to become some kind of leader within an organization, you want to be able to talk to some of the technical people on your team or within your company in order to fulfill your goals that you have on a yearly basis, etc. So these are some of the paths that you can take as an engineer that aren't directly related to engineering. So that's all I had, y'all. I hope that you guys like this video. video and you learned something new. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Make sure to stay connected with me on social media so that you can learn more about the other things that I offer related to professional development and some of the services I offer. So you can also visit my website, taylorosmith.com. Until then, you guys can check out some of the other videos I have on my channel related to engineering, different career paths, as well as professional development. And until then, I will talk to you guys soon. Alrighty, bye.